You think because we're super liberal now that women are all of a sudden gonna initiate? Women don't have to initiate.
Women do.
But they don't have to, is the thing. As a woman, men will come to you, be it on dating apps, be it at a bar, be it at a club, be it in person. Men will approach you. Men will initiate. If you want to initiate, you can. But as a man, if you want to get a girl, you have to initiate. That's the difference. If most men didn't put in the effort and didn't initiate, that's the end of their bloodline. They're done. Maybe you guys are thinking about the top 10 or 20% of men that you guys are going after and you might consider initiating upon. But for the average man, no girls are hitting him up. An average guy goes to a bar, club, or party. He stands there. Nobody's coming to talk to him. He's going to stand there the entire night totally alone. As a girl, even if you're an average girl, you go out to a bar, club, or party, a guy's going to come and hit on you. He might not be the guy you want, but you're going to get some attention. And you might get a lot of attention, actually. So, go ahead.
Go ahead, who?
Oh, you.
Okay, I have some stuff to say.
It looks like you had some stuff.
No, I'm listening to you, though. I'm listening. I find it fascinating that you have your perspective because I believe that you're probably right in your own respect, in your own experience. But from my experience, that's not the case at all. I feel like women have so much pressure to objectify themselves, to build them up for men.
Wait,
and
what?
Men, you don't have to try. What do?
Men don't
you
have
put
to
on
try.
a shirt, you put on some pants, and you have to have some confidence and go walk up to a girl. Do you know what a girl has to do?
Erroneous.
A girl has to get ready. She has to put uncomfortable heels that were designed by men, by the way, so that they don't run away fast, and they're really uncomfortable. Get their hair done, their makeup,
Actually,
try to look a certain way, because God knows if they don't look a certain way, they might not be attractive. And then you have these men whining, because they actually have to say hello first. God forbid that.
Wow. Okay. So.
You know what I mean? Like, do you have go wear some heels for a whole night?
Nothing.
And wear a tight little outfit and make sure you look good and put some makeup on your face and take 2 hours for your hair. People put eyelashes, all kind. I don't do those things because I don't have the bandwidth. But
nothing obligates you to do all that stuff. In
in
fact,
social conditionment does. And in fact, men don't expire. Women do. As we get older, we are apparently not attractive anymore.
Can I add something?
How old are you, by the way?
37.
Okay, got it. So that is a good point.
Yeah.
I think men do have, in terms of finding a partner. Actually, you know what? It does depend. I think honestly, women, even if they're older, they can still honestly run circles around most guys. Now, the problem that women run into is that if you want to have children, there is an expiration date, so to speak.
Yes.
Because past 35,
yes,
then you're getting into higher chance of miscarriage, much more difficult to conceive, higher risk of birth defects. So
that's agreed.
So
agreed.
A 40-year-old man who wants to have kids, he's probably going to be looking at someone who's, say, like late 20s, 30s versus someone who's his age who's 40.
But you can freeze your eggs.
I guess. I mean, but that's very expensive.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's kind of like a class.
About this, yeah.
I mean, that's a class thing. So like some people can't afford that. So what about the 40-year-old woman who's destitute or just...
Yeah, sad because she can't have... Yeah, it's tough for women. It is very tough biologically for women. I personally don't want to have kids like ever. I love children, but not my thing, never was. So I don't have that stress, but I know plenty of women around my age that are just really, really sad because they want to have babies. And that's a big deal. So you have to think about all the other things that women have to deal with that men don't have to deal with. And
so,
it really kind of evens out the playing field. Like if your perspective is that men have to do all this protecting and like outgoingness and all, which I don't see in my world, that didn't happen at all. But I can see how that is the experience for a lot of people. You have to also think about all the other things that women deal with that men don't deal with biologically that are really scary, you know?
Josh,
like this person might be a psycho killer and might like send me to trafficking school, you know, like that's
Sex
why women,
trafficking
that's
school.
why women do not initiate a lot, because they're afraid of getting attacked, because men physically are stronger. I don't care what you say, unless you have some MMA or whatever the hell behind, like, background. It's a scary thing.
Okay,
like,
but that's such an outlier scenario where a woman would be assaulted on a date.
dude,
I mean,
every woman will think of it. Hey,
Yeah,
doesn't everyone go through
no,
your head?
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
it's like in normal dating scenarios, I mean, that is not like, we can talk about outlier situations. There's a chance I meet a psycho stalker chick and she slashes my tires. Like,
Did that happen, by the way?
no.
Yeah, it's the second time you
Yeah.
brought that up.
No, I've not had my tires slashed, but I've definitely encountered some pretty
I bet.
fucking crazy chicks. Okay, so
Is that why
I
you
mean,
started the show?
pretty, yes.
Therapy
To
session.
invite some of them on. Maybe there's a few. Maybe there's a few at this table. There might be a few at the table. So,
When you speak your mind, you are crazy as a female.
so I mean, just to address your whole thing with like women have to like get ready and stuff. I mean, men also have a lot of things that they do before a date: shaving, hair. There's a lot of other
What
shit.
else, please do tell?
There's a lot of
Shaving hair,
more
shaving
than
hair, shaving hair.
well.
Like, what else?
I mean, you mentioned protection, but that's a real one. That's a real one. Okay, an expectation a lot of women have would be for their partner to protect them in the event of some sort of altercation, right? So, okay, like if you want to get into this debate of like, oh, women spend all this money before a date. First off, I don't even want a chick to wear makeup if I'm on a date with her. I'll tell a girl, hey, don't wear makeup. I don't care about that shit. Don't wear makeup. Just wear some fucking sweatpants. I don't care. But that's me. I think actually if you ask most guys, like anything more than a bit of mascara or eyeliner, that's a letdown, to be honest. We don't want a full face of makeup. So protection-wise, you know, maybe, I mean, we can go back and forth on like what men and women have to do, but there's an expectation that in a relationship, men protect. So, okay, what does that entail? Does he have a firearm? Is he trained? Maybe he's just making himself physically larger by going to the gym. So all these things play into it too.
Girls
So
do all
what's-
those things as well. And then more on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like, yes, we girls do those things, but one thing I do have to add, and like this might be an unpopular opinion, is that like we do in a way subject ourselves to that because we want to find a mate that we find suitable. We want them to find us suitable. And I know that I have standards for sure, and like if there's a guy who's not as tall as I want or not as muscular as I want, I can be picky. And so like, yes, I do get what you're saying there. Like we do have all those things, but we don't have to do that. Like I'm sure that there is a lot of guys that want like a natural girl and stuff, but we do that because we want to feel like we're the top 10%, not just the 90% that most guys will choose from. And I think that's the thing is like,
Wait, the 90% that men choose from?
yeah, like
So you think men are going after the 90% of women?
I've actually had a guy tell me that before, that was his theory, and maybe it's not every guy, but he said that like women
Erroneous. Erroneous.
It's actually the reverse.
You think so?
It's 80% of women that are going after the top 20% of men.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think that's what I was meaning to say.
Yeah,
but then men will go for the
'Cause men date
majority.
down.
Yeah,
Men
and women
date
date
down.
up.
That's what
Yeah,
she's saying.
that's what I was trying to say.
Women
Numbers got
date
confusing.
across and up.
Across
So-
and up.
Women date across and up, either socioeconomically or just looks wise.
Yes, and I agree. And so that's what I'm saying is like we want to feel like we are higher, even though guys will go for the 80% or whatever it is, the majority. We want to feel like we are at that top of that majority, regardless of if their standards are low. And so we do want to feel like that, but we are kind of subjecting ourselves to it in a way. So I think, yeah, we can argue about like, oh, girls have to get so much more ready, but it's because we want to be held to a higher standard sometimes, you know?
And I feel like society plays a role in that too, because I feel like women wouldn't have all these standards on them if that wasn't put on to us since the day we were born. That like you aren't pretty because you don't look like this. Like beauty standards aren't a real thing if you don't believe it. If you look at people and you think an eye is this color and it's this shape and it's beautiful, and the skin is this color and it's beautiful, and you don't put it into all these categories that are rated, everyone's beautiful then. And you don't have to make yourself top 10% or anything. You can just be out there and meet the people that you're meant to meet from the heart.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. And that's why they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, because there's literally like somebody could think I'm the least attractive person in the world, but then someone else can think I'm the most attractive person in the world.
Exactly.
And it's like everybody has their
So true.
someone, you know?
Totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Once you realize that, those standards matter to you anymore. You don't give them power.
Yeah.